Alright, Colton, go ahead and say hi.
First, I gotta adjust the camera.
Oh, you gotta adjust the camera. Okay.
Hi everyone, and welcome to yet another Transformers video with me and my dad here.
Hey, y'all. Hey. Okay, now, I don't have a script or anything to go by, but I do have my memory about what we're fixing to review. And this was a movie that came out in the 1980s, and it was about time travel. And I've seen this guy a time or two, but I finally just said I just need to go and get him so I can do a review, because I have to, because, you know, Marty and Doc and all of them would want me to do a review on it. So, can y'all guess which I'm talking about? Go ahead. Say what you need to say. Go ahead.
And if those two guys, which is Marty and
Doc.
Doc Brown, look familiar to you from a movie, it's about this guy here.
It is about this guy called Gigawatt.
And as you can see, Gigawatt transforms into the little DeLorean vehicle from the movie Back to the Future here. And it's in Back to the Futures 1, 2, and 3. There is 3 movies of Back to the Future, and this was in all 3 of them.
That come out in 1980s, and Colton did watch them with me, so he loved them. They are awesome. So now they made a Transformer.
And they named it Gigawatt here.
Gigawatt.
And Gigawatt's name was also from the Back to the Future movies.
Well, it was a certain amount of speed that you had to get for the gigawatts in order for the DeLorean to activate to go into time travel. And it had to go into once it hit the certain gigawatts, it goes into the flux capacitor. Yeah, I know. It's weird, but it worked.
And also, it's also Back to the Future's 35-year anniversary. So, but Back to the Future, the movies have been around for 35 years.
And yeah, that makes you feel old. Anyway, when you hear something like that and you remember seeing it at the movies, yeah, on the big screen, then you start feeling, yeah, I'm getting up there. So anyway, this is the review of Transformers Gigawatt.
The crossovers line. Because you can see here, this is the crossover symbol. And this is like the exact same crossover symbol like the Dracula crossover figure that we have reviewed before. And this had the same crossovers logo here.
So we're going to take a look at Gigawatt, and we're going to take a look at the box and the specs that they have on the back for Gigawatt. And we're just going to take a look at it inside and out and all the way around, because we're going back to the future with this guy. We'll see y'all here in a minute.
Stay tuned.
Hey, we're back again, y'all. And like we said, that this was something actually from, I guess you can say, my childhood, but they still show it on TV today. That shows you how good this saga was. This movie, the trilogy.
The trilogy.
Trilogy. Thank you. Trilogy.
Because there was 3 Back to the Future movies.
As soon as I could talk right, y'all can understand me. But anyway, my son understands me. Amazing. So anyway, this is Gigawatt, and it's funny how they come up with the name, because if y'all remember in the movie, they said that you had to hit so many gigawatts for it to go into the flux capacitor, so the whole time travel machine could actually activate and go back in time. And what was it? I want to say 85, 87?
85. 1985.
No, the speed that he had to get up to, and I forgot. So hey, if y'all know in the comments down below, it's 80 something, 82, 85, 87. It's all mismatched in my mind. It's 80 something miles per hour you had to go to get the correct gigawatts to go into the flux capacitor, so this way the time travel machine could go back in time. And all 3 movies were excellent. Still, nothing could compare to the very first one. The movie is a classic in its own right. The story writing was brilliant. Everything about the movie was brilliant. Second one was even better. I mean, you know, so all 3 of them were good, because you're going back and forth in time, back and forth. And the characters that they had playing in it, you couldn't ask for better screen characters to play the characters of them, their persons. They were spot on. So anyway, enough of that. We're going to get on to the box, reviewing Gigawatt, and here we go.
So for the box itself, you can see it does look like a Transformers Generation 1 box artwork from the 80s, the 1980s, and it does look really similar to that. It has the Transformers logo here, and on the top it has like change, and finish, just like on the Generation 1 toys. And here's a picture of Gigawatt in robot mode. And it has Back to the Future here on this corner with the DeLorean here. And the crossover logo here, like the Dracula figure did. And the Hasbro logo here, ages 8+. And the side here does have another picture of Gigawatt in both modes. And on the other side, it just has the
back of the DeLorean.
The back of the DeLorean.
Now, can we make out what it says right there on the license plate? I'm just curious. Oh, it says out of time.
Out of time.
It sure does. How about that? Alright. That's what it says on the box.
Or out of time.
Out of time.
And it has Back to the Future there. And on the bottom, just have barcodes and Gigawatt in both modes. The crossover logo here.
And on the back, that looks awesome.
And you do have the G1 old school tech specs here. And his function here is you're never out of time when you're a time machine. When Marty and Doc Brown need a ride through time, Gigawatt is ready to fly.
And that's the best you're going to give for the specs of him, because that's all we know. We do know he is an Autobot, and his name's Gigawatt. Now, up here, this license plate says something different. It does not say out of time. It says BK2FU22 T2. Oh, I can't even say that.
BK2FUT2.
T2. Back to the future?
Back to future.
Back to Future 2. Back to Future 2. Back to Future 2. Yes, that's what it says.
Okay.
Back to Future 2. How about that? Oh no, that's pretty crazy. Back to the Future 2.
And there's Gigawatt's picture here. And on the bottom, you just have some, like, warnings here.
Yep.
And there's the Universal Studio.
Yep. And you can't eat anything in the box. Nope, box is not edible. So now we are going to turn it around, and I'm going to let Colton handle this.
So now let's get him out of the box. And he opens up the similar way you get a G1 transformer. And getting the instructions.
So,
and in the instructions, you just get some paper warnings here. And the instruction book here.
the instruction book. Okay.
And you got the figure in its clear case. And a cardboard background with some images of the DeLorean here.
You got the front view. You have the flux capacitor. Let's go move that over a little bit. Let's see. I don't think they can see that.
They can see it.
You have the front view, and down here at the bottom, it has the flux capacitor. Whoops.
Huh?
Sorry. A picture of the flux capacitor. And then you have the side view of the DeLorean, where this is all the mechanics of the time machine is at. And then on the back, you just have the back parts to the time machine, I guess. And then up here, it's got Back to the Future flux capacitor. Yay!
And on the bottom here, it has 1.21 gigawatt.
Oh, 1.21 gigawatts. They say that in the movie. 1.21 gigawatts.
Or gigawatt.
Oh man, it was a good movie. I remember the first time when I seen it, I was like, oh man, that was good. And it's just something that stick with you forever once you see it.
And here is Gigawatt and a couple of his accessories here.
I guess that's a time machine gun. I don't know. That's some type of gun.
There we go.
That's a gun that comes in multiple pieces.
The piece 2 comes separate. But they do come together in one when you get him out of the box. And we're gonna get these two off to the side for now.
Hey, isn't this the canister though that you put stuff in? Isn't this? I think maybe. Whether I don't know.
It does attach to the back here.
Oh.
But before we get into his access.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just messing everything up. Leave it alone, Dad. Okay.
Before we get into the accessories, let's first take a look at the DeLorean here, or Gigawatt himself. So, as you can see, Gigawatt is, of course, the DeLorean vehicle here. And it looks really cool. And it looks exactly like how it does in all three of the movies of Back to the Future.
DeLorean's been through it, man. Yep. Roads? Who needs roads? Where we going? We don't need roads.
And it does have some, like, details here on the front windshield. And on the front it does have some silver paint on the front here where the grille and the front headlights are. And it does have the black painted in bumper here. And he does have some gray or well, I think that this is all like a gray painted in on the plastic, or it may be just gray plastic on the hood and the roof here. And it is coming in at like a white color on camera, but this is actually gray.
Yes, it is. I can vouch for that. It's actually gray, but it's coming through the camera more of a whitish. There, now that shows a little bit more gray. Yes, it shows a little bit more gray, but it is gray. I can vouch for that. And it's got black pinstripes on it, and you got Doc Brown's kind of goofy way that part of the time machine and influx and stuff like that. These were real cars back in the day. There were DeLoreans,
and he does have it on both sides here.
Yes. Yeah.
And the tires do have some silver paint on them.
Hey, let me make a correction. The DeLorean back in the 80s was real, not the time machine. The time machine did not exist. This is strictly just a movie. As far as the DeLorean car, yes, they did exist. Not many of them, but yeah.
And here's the bag and the license plate here. Out of time.
Does that say, what does it say on top, California? I'm not sure what that says up top.
Yes, yes.
California license plates. Out of time.
On the top here, it says And it does have some red painted in tail lights here. And a black bumper here painted. And the top here, you can see on the back it does have some painted in wires and cables here. And on the side here, you do get some more painted in details here. On both sides. With some black here. And on the bottom, you just have some robot kibble. Well, he does clean up well on the bottom, except he does have a visible head syndrome.
You can see the head
on the bottom.
You can see the, as soon as I get it out, the flux capacitor, which needs gigawatts to turn into gigawatts, or gigawatts to turn into gigawatts, something like that. Doc Brown can sort it out. I can't. All right, go ahead.
But we will show y'all this when we get to robot mode, but not right now.
So I think, in my opinion, that is a awesome looking DeLorean. I have to say, it is a good looking DeLorean. Now, Colton, explain to me what that is. I think I know exactly what that is.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But first, I need to show off
okay.
the features that this has. It does roll really well. And also, there is another feature that this can do in vehicle mode. And that is, you can take all 4 of these tires and flip them down to make it look like it's hovering and also flying. Well, like it does in the movies.
Of 2. Because it don't do that in 1. It does that in Back to the Future 2. It does that in Back to the Future 2. Yeah.
Oh.
It does that in Back to the Future 2.
So in Back to the Future 2 is the only time we get to see the DeLorean flying.
The right there at the end. The end of Back to the Future 1 going into the Back to the Future 2. That's when he says, Doc, we don't have enough room to get up to speed. And he says, roads? Who needs roads? And then that's when these tires fold down. I don't know if they can fold down right now. And
they can.
And that's when they fold down. But in Back to the Future 1, that's where this part comes in. Because you gotta have fuel. He just pulls out a bunch of stuff and starts throwing it in there. I gotta have fuel.
but to fold up the wheels, you for the back ones, you want to just flip them down so they look like this. But for the front wheels here, I will have to show you on the bottom. The way you fold them up is you have to fold them up on the wheel itself, on this little hinge joint where this pin joint or this pinned screw is on. Because there is 2 joints that these front wheels can fold up on. One here and one here. So you want to fold them up on this joint here. Not this joint on the bottom, but this joint here. And this does click into place. There we go.
Here it is. And that is the DeLorean right there at the end of Back to the Future 1. Where they say, roads, who needs roads?
And I think this is where this part comes in.
Yeah. And you plug it in where?
And you can plug this somewhere.
It should be right there. I'm looking at it now. It should be right there.
This does attach to this hole here, and you want it like this. And it does have some detail in it as well.
I'm thinking about the movie now. Okay. Go.
And you can see it does have some silver paint on the bottom here. And some tampograph detail here on both sides here. And the way you attach this is of course in this hole here. But you also want to make sure that these two little silver nubs are lined up between these things here.
Awesome.
Oops.
Awesome. And they say, Marty says, so, Doc, what are you doing? And he pulls off this cap right here and he starts putting a bunch of garbage in there. And he says, Doc, what are you doing? He says, I need fuel. And then he closes the top. And then that's when he said that, Doc, we don't have enough room to get up to speed. And he says, roads? Who needs roads? And then that's when you see the DeLorean's tires fold down like they are here. And then they shoot off into the TV screen. And then that's where Back to the Future 2 picks up. But anyway.
And another feature that this does have is it does have some opening doors. First I will have to remove this off and set this off to the side and flip back up the wheels.
Put the wheels back right.
But it does have some opening doors, and the way you would open them is you will have to come to the bottom on the sides and untap them, and these doors do flip up.
Wow.
Like they do in the movie.
Yes, do the other one.
Like that.
Yes, wow, I did not know that. That is awesome. 'Cause that's exactly how DeLorean's doors open up. Now that is awesome.
And inside, you just see it like a lot of robot kibble.
Yeah, robot kibble. Because that's part of Gigawatt.
Like you can see his hands right there.
Yeah, let's get a straight on view. Zoom. Put it right there. Let's go and zoom out some. Let's take all this in. Oh, awesome. Zoom in some. That's awesome. Yay! Oh, you make my generation happy. Yes, seeing this, you make my generation happy. Okay.
But we're not quite done yet in vehicle mode, because we do have a couple more of accessories and features that this can do before we get into robot mode.
Now, I had no idea it had these many features to it. The car looks good. What they did with the tires is good. They even added the little trash compactor deal that looks good. What else do they have? Wow. Okay.
he of course does come with his gun here, which does clearly look like the ion blaster that Optimus Prime uses in the G1 cartoon. Because you could see it does have some resemblance here. And the way you would store this in vehicle mode is on the bottom, it does have this hole that the handle of the gun does fit into. And you want this facing like this. So it looks like that. And for the last accessory that this comes with for the features is this thing here. And this is what Doc Brown uses in Back to the Future 1 to help Marty get back in his generation,
which is 1980s.
1985.
Thank you for correcting me on the exact year. I knew it was 1980. I can't remember if it was 85 or 86.
Yes, 1985.
Thank you.
And the way you attach this is this black peg goes into that little hole right there. Oh, and this is made out of a soft rubbery material. So you just attach that on. And there you go. And now you can have the DeLorean bringing Marty back to his generation, which is 1985. Although the problem that I have with it is you could see it's not really straight, because it is at this angle here.
Because the bendy plastic took too many bends.
But you can fix that with a
heat gun.
No.
No? Oh, you'll melt it with the heat gun.
A hair dryer. You can fix that with a hair dryer.
Okay, go ahead. I gotta straighten myself up. I just caught what I said. Alright, go ahead. Oh boy. It's been a long day.
But you can fix that with a hair dryer to keep it straight. So it looks like this.
Oh boy. Okay.
And that's about all of the features and accessories that this guy can do in his DeLorean mode.
Yeah, he's right. You put a heat gun to that, you will melt it. Okay, anyway, go ahead. I just checked it out. Yeah. So anyway, this is an awesome version of the DeLorean. I had no idea it had so many accessories, and the car looks real good. I did not expect the double doors to open up the way that they did. I was surprised to see the trash compactor that they put in there. That was an added bonus. I remember that as soon as I saw it, I knew what it was. So anyway, I'm going to be quiet again. Try and control and contain myself. I'm going to let Colton run on with it.
And something that I forgot to tell y'all in the beginning of this video, this is a repaint, and slight retool of the Transformers Siege Deluxe Class Sideswipe. Now, I don't have Siege Sideswipe, so I'll try my best to see what they've changed and what they kept the same in both modes. But I think here in vehicle mode, it's completely modified, which it is. But in robot mode, we'll see what they changed and what they kept the same. And speaking of robot mode, let's get into that. So to transform him, you're of course gonna open back up the doors here. And you're going to come to the bottom here and take these things, untap them and flip them out. Then you're going to take the back here. Oh, well, you do want to separate it in half, but you do want to bring them out so they look like this. And inside here, you're going to flip out his feet, but the easier way to do it is you want to take these black things here and push them, and as you push them, it'll help you push out his feet, just like that, and flip them down. And to show you on the front here, and then you want to close these back up and tap them in. And then you're going to rotate his waist around. And for the front wheels, you just want to fold them all the way up on both of the hinge joints. And for the front here, you're gonna, well, before you do some with his arms, you do want to come to the side here and untap these things here. You can see here, untap these and swing these around so they look like this. And now you can take what will become his robot mode arms and bring them out. And you too want to flip out his hands and straighten down his elbows. And for the front of the car, you do want to untap it. And you do want to fold it down, but don't fold it all the way down, because you need some room to take this front part of the hood and spin it around. So you want to fold it down to about here, so that way you can have some room to untap this part and flip it all the way around. And you too want to kind of bring it up just a little bit, so that way you can flip this all the way around. And you too need to get the front wheels out of the way. Oh, and I forgot that I left his gun in vehicle mode. So I'm gonna remove that. Just like that. And then fold up the wheels. And then take the front of the car and bring it down. And this gray tab is going to go into that hole right there. And for his arms, you're going to bring them in and tap them in on this black tab and this hole here. And you're done.
So you have the flux capacitor just hanging out right there. What does it say on his chest underneath the flux capacitor?
It has the dates here. October, well, the red numbers here say October 26, 1985, which is Marty's time. It has October 21st, 2015, which had those flying cars, which people would think that we had those flying cars and those hoverboards in 2015.
Back then, that's what we was thinking, but nope, that didn't happen. But we do have electrical cars. Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone. But we do have electrical cars, but we also have gas cars too. But anyway, in today's time. But no flying cars, not yet. Well, experimental, and I guess if you have a lot of money, you could probably get one, but you got to look real hard for them. Anyway.
Because those are just make-believe.
And what does the bottom
stuff.
say? What does the bottom say?
And the bottom here has November 12th, 1955, which was the year Marty's parents grew up in. And like back when his parents were kids.
Kids, teenagers. Yeah, awesome. Still going to school and stuff like that. I remember them days. Anyway, that was a long time ago. That was a good ways back. Anyway.
And for the robot mode itself, he looks really good. And for the side swipe references, from what I can see, I can tell his arms are the side swipe arms. His thighs here are the side swipes legs. Or thighs. And I think his knees here are, well, they're kinda, sorta, like his, like side swipes knees here. But I know the chest and the head is completely modified. And let's get a closer look at his head sculpt here. You can see he does have an entirely new head sculpt here. And I think this does well, no. I was about to say it kind of sort of has a little bit of sideswipe in it, but no, it's just a totally different head sculpt. And
no, that is 100% Gigawatt.
And it does have some silver paint on his face, and some blue on his eyes, and some silver paint on the little head crest here.
And blue for the flux capacitor. Right there. That's the gigawatts that you need into gigawatts, and gigawatts turn into gigawatts. Yeah. With his name. Right there. Little flux capacitor deal. That's what it takes to make time travel happen. Right there. You see, we all got to get one of them flux capacitor dudes. Okay.
And he does have the same black and gray color scheme like in the vehicle mode. And to give you a little 360 degree here. And overall, I think the robot mode looks really good. And like I said, I don't have Siege Sideswipes, but I have given you some references of what they kept the same and what's been changed for this Siege Sideswipe mold here. And for articulation, his head is on a ball joint, but it is really limited. He can look left and right with no problems, but he can't really look up and down because it's really limited. But his arms can rotate all the way around, move in and out, bicep swivel, elbow, no wrist swivel, waist swivel, legs can go forward, back, in and out, thigh swivel. He does have a knee joint, but you only get that much bend to it due to this stuff hindering it.
Due to the flux capacitor hanging on the back. No, not really. That's just his back kibble. Won't let him bend anymore.
And his feet does have an ankle pivot. And that's it.
I think they did a really good job.
And you can have him hold his gun in his hands.
I'd like to know what that gun's called.
And for this thing here, you can attach it on the back of the gun here, so you can have it like that.
That makes sense. All Doc's got to do is open up the back and throw a bunch of banana peels and other trash in there. And there we go. He will shoot trash at people and robots and Decepticons. Yeah.
And I think you can do something with this. I'm looking at the instructions real quick.
So, go ahead, Colton. So, as far as him, I like what they did because he looks like the box. If y'all 80s people remember what the theater poster looked like, that was Marty McFly. That was Marty McFly, and he was looking at his watch and stuff like that, right? And they said DeLorean. Well, that's kind of what they redid on the box. That's cool.
Okay, I looked at the instructions real quick, and this is the only place that you can store it when he's in robot mode. But you can't have him hold it in his hand. So you can have it like that.
Okay.
And as for this thing here,
The cable.
the cable here, the only way that this can store is on these holes on his arms. Yes. So you can attach it here or even here.
I think there would probably look better. I think on his arm would look better.
And you could either display it like this,
Yeah.
or you can display it like this.
With the big old hook at the end.
I think I would like to display it like this.
Yeah. Then you get out your heat gun. Alright.
And there he is, all armed up.
I like it, I like it, I like it.
And for a size comparison, here he is next to the Dracula or Draculus crossover transformer. That's from the same line, like this one is, because it has this logo here, like the Dracula transformer had on his box. So you can see how they look together side by side.
They look very good. Let's see here. Yeah, it just looks evil. Yeah, and what's his name again? Draculus?
They're calling him Draculus.
Draculus.
But he's, of course, Dracula.
Yeah, I know. I got you. I got you. I got you.
And this is from the Transformers Times Returns Mind Wipe mode.
Yeah, mind wipe.
Mold.
Okay.
So let's get him out of the way.
That is awesome.
And now we'll get to our final thoughts.
I like it. I like it. I had no idea that there were so many accessories with it. I love how the doors open up. So much reminiscence of the original DeLorean. Because the original DeLorean did have doors that only open up that way. As far as the way the car looks, it's great. It's great. Robot mode looks good. I don't have a problem with either mode or any of it. From a scale 1 to 10, I'd give it a 9.5. 9 out of 10, I see one flaw on it, but 9.5 for sure.
I also like it in both modes. But my only problem with it in robot mode is I wish his knees would bend more, because that's all the knee bend you're gonna get in robot mode. That's really my only problem with it. But everything else looks really good in both modes.
I am glad that they took something from my era, and that probably shows you what type of generations are now coming into the awareness of these hobbies and stuff like that, because this just screams 80s.
Yes.
You know, inside and out. Whoever decided to make an homage to Back to the Future of the car DeLorean and then called it Gigawatt, my hat's off to you. I love it. Me and my son, we have watched all 3 of them. And I watched them way before my son ever watched them. I remember when they first come out. And then I got the movies and stuff like that, and I said, Colton, you ever seen this? And he said, no. I said, sit down, we're going to watch all 3 of them. And we did, and he loved them. And I wonder what the next homage is going to be too. Because I know the Ghostbusters out there.
And there's also one from Jurassic Park and one from Top Gun.
Right.
And
there's a couple others, but this goes in the crossover section that we have, that Colton has on the channel of his. So that's where you'll be able to find a review of this one later on down the road of crossover Transformers.
And it's on
Gigawatt.
my playlist.
Yeah, just what he said. That's what I meant to say. I need Prevagen. Anyway, so it's great. I don't have a problem with it. It really looks sharp, looks good. Colton, what do you think about it?
I also think it looks great in both modes. I just have one flaw with it.
And it's the back leg. The back leg.
Yes, the knee bend.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, y'all, I'm going to back on out of here. I got a thumb up for this guy right here. Nothing but positive on my end. I'm going to let Colton take us out of here. And y'all have a good one. Y'all take care. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
And if you like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel. Or y'all could also follow me or support me on Patreon. And I will leave a link to my Patreon account in the description box down below. Or you can click on the little Patreon box right here in this corner. So I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.